more damage to your witness by trying to belittle somebody or put somebody down or put your thumb on somebody and or act like, you know, you're better than they are, because you're not.
Right.
You're just a sinner saved by grace.
We used to have a pastor that said you could be scripturally right, but spiritually wrong.
Right.
You can take the Bible and kill people.
Well, that's like the letter.
You know, and it's just as wrong to be that way as it is to, you know, be the other way. So.
Right. That's exactly right.
Can I give you an illustration?
Go ahead, Rick.
I know that most of y'all know George Hughes, and he's a fine man of the Lord. Me and him sung together for a lot of years. But this example is one that we're talking about today. His dad had a heart attack, and he was down in the hospital. And I don't mean this negatively. I'm just saying this point to show that there's a right way and a wrong way. And George Hughes went down to the hospital and visited my father-in-law. And George is, you have to know George like I knew George. And George is just straightforward. And he just told him like it was. And you know what? You don't go into somebody like that that's lost. And Pete told my wife, said, don't never let that guy come back to me, because I don't want to see him never, ever again. And you know what? That's one bad way that we can witness to the Lord. And I'm not saying he did it wrong. George wants to be the witness that he wants to be. And he wants to put forth that boldness for the Lord. But boldness, in some ways, I feel like that when I'm working at work, there's probably 90% of the time that you can't witness to people. But there's a time or two occasionally that the opportunity opens and they say, you go to church. That's when you talk to people, when they want to hear it. Sometimes we can, just like you can't tell it like George did that particular time. You can tell it, and I know that he meant right from the heart. I know George, and I know he did. And I told one, I said, one of you have to just, some people, let me give you another illustration. I went over to her Bessie, her grandmother, and me and Wanda would go visit them back years and years ago when we first got married. I didn't know Bessie that much at all. She was a real old lady and real nice old lady, chewed tobacco, but she was a fine lady, not as Christian. And you know what? I didn't do nothing special. I didn't think I was nothing. I tried to live a Christian life, just tried to witness occasionally to her. And I walked in there, and I just say, how you doing, Bessie? And I said, you know, just the normal chit-chatty stuff that you talk about. And I said, I know. She said, y'all go to church? I said, yeah, we go to church. And I said, I love to go to church. I love the Lord. That's all I said. On her deathbed down in Thomas Hospital, the family said, you want us to call a preacher? They said, no. She said, no. I want you to call Rick Mills.
Yep.
And that was the most humbling spirit that ever happened to me. I went down there, I didn't even really know how to talk to her. I mean, she was way a lot of years my elder, and I didn't really know how to do it. And I just talked to her like an infant child, just like I would one of my grandchildren or something, and said, you love the Lord? And she said, yes. And she got saved right there. And that, to me, that was one of the most humbling things in my life as a Christian, that we don't never know how to go toward someone, to witness to someone, but you have to let the Lord do it. And the Lord did it in them instances.
One thing that we can't forget, God's still in control.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
God controls this universe that we live in, world. And like you said, when you first come up here, you just go ahead and walk back up, down in there. Sometimes saying nothing can be the best witness of all.
The countenance on your face too.
When Rick walked out of that room, he don't know what was said, but some could have said, guys, man, we shouldn't have done that.
We heard
we know better. We know Rick goes to church. We shouldn't have done that. Because
That
God will put a
Well, that
conviction.
very same thing happened, too.
God will put a conviction on their
See,
heart.
this guy that I went to the hospital to visit, horrible, he works there. And one day he was saying some of them things, and I just sort of walked out of the room, and he come back the next day, walked back there to me, and he said, Rick, he don't ever come back in my office. He just walked back and said, Rick, I got something to talk to you about. I just, like I always do, I said, well, go on, brother, talk. I was just trying to be nice to him, and you know what, he said, I want to apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I said stuff in there I shouldn't have said. He said, I know you're trying to go to church and do right. That told me, I said, oh, well, right there was all you had to ever do. You don't have to do nothing else, brother. I said, I appreciate that.
Because see what a great witness, just turning the other's cheek and walking away. See, we as humans, it's human nature, and I've said it before, we have to have the last word. But see, we gotta let God have the control. Now, God will lay something on your heart if He wants you to say something. But God don't lay nothing on your heart. You need to turn around and just walk away. Don't let self, well, I'm gonna line them out. I'm gonna line it. Hey guys, I wanna hear that stuff. You know I belong to church. Y'all live every way you wanna live.
Yeah.
That's not the way to do it. God, you gotta let God, when you're in tune with God,
He'll lead you.
He'll lead you, He'll guide you, He'll take care of you. He'll take care of you. But you gotta stay in tune with God. But the point taken is these people in the Old Testament that took that vow, and like I say, Paul took it, they concentrated their life to God, and they set themselves apart. They wasn't acting, they didn't do it to be better than anyone else. They did it for self.
Right.
When we get saved, we're not better than anybody else. But we need to set our life apart for God so God can use us and deal with us and walk with us and control.